Hey everyone, good to see you again. And I've got a question here, and I think I've already done a bit of a video on this in the past, but I think I may have deleted it. I'm not sure. I know I deleted about 100 videos here a little while back. I could have possibly been one of them, but I've had about 4 or 5 people ask me this question. So I'm probably going to be a little bit repetitive with this one here, but bubble love was union. What are we doing wrong? Okay? I can discuss that a bit, I think. We'll make this a short one. What are you doing wrong? Actually, to be honest with every one of you that gets into the experience of the bubble love with another person or with yourself, none of you are doing anything wrong. You're doing actually everything you're supposed to do. And a lady in the back says, "Are you nuts, Mel? Are you telling me that all of this crap I went through, I was supposed to do that?" Yep. Are you telling me that all the misery that I went through for months and years, I was supposed to do that? Yep. Are you telling me that all the money that I spent on these tarot card ladies and everything else and all of these twin flame experts and workshops and everything else, I was supposed to do all of that? Yep. But you didn't answer my question, Mel. I just did. None of you are doing anything wrong. You couldn't help what you did. You had no choice. You did exactly what you were programmed to do, based on your experience and your knowledge that you have at the moment. So when you went into the bubble love phase, you were in that ascended state of consciousness, mystical state of consciousness, unified field, racy, unified field. There's so many different terms about it and so many people talking about it, it gets really confusing. So some of you may have noticed that there's a variation where one person may experience the intensity of what did I do wrong much more painfully than another person, and another person may not have that much difficulty at all. And some person may catch on to it really quick and go through the process. It varies according to the personality, and I mentioned this before, and the personality traits, habits, idiosyncrasies of the personality of the person. Because part of the package here is, again, everybody who has this experience, especially when another person's involved, the automatic thing that they're going to do, and this is natural, and there's nothing wrong with doing this, you're automatically going to assume because it's so unique, so special, so that a relationship is going to take form out of it. And if you had the opportunity to be with that person, meet that person, and have sex with that person, and again, it was off the charts, you are really going to assume that a relationship has got to take place because it's just too good to be true. And usually if it is too good to be true, it usually is. All right? So if you go back and you take a look at it, and if you enjoyed the situation for what it was, then take a look at how you're reacting after the fact, and you will realize something, that the experiences, the difficulties, the challenges, the backed into the corner, the complaining, the whining, the bitching, is exactly what the doctor ordered. As a matter of fact, just for the sake of humor here, I'm a member of about 35 twin flame groups. What I don't do anymore is I do not put any of my videos up in them, unless somebody else posts them for me. But I do go into quite a lot of them very often, and I'm reading the comments. And I hear people whining and complaining and bitching, and he's doing this and she's doing that. I love it when I hear it. It used to be I get, kind of rattled by it. Now I love it when people are whining and bitching and complaining like that and they're feeling pain and hurt. I love it. Because the more they whine, the more it hurts, the more painful it becomes. Guess what they're going to do? Sooner or later, they're going to do something about it. The only thing they're going to realize is, I'm doing all this hurt and I'm doing all this pain. I got to fix this. So they're going to do something to fix it. And what are they going to do? They're going to start looking and seeking out knowledge, information, from whatever source or sources or material that they can gain some peace of mind with. Initially, that may be a little snippet here and a little snippet there, or something that somebody says, and they start going through some changes. So you might say that the bubble love phase is an indication of what you can achieve in this particular lifetime, which I previously mentioned in just a video I just done, which is a perennial state of consciousness. Perennial meaning permanent. And it doesn't necessitate that the other person be there on a permanent basis. The person is there, and you go into the bubble love phase with this person, because that's exactly what you wanted. And somebody says, now, what the hell are you talking about now? That's exactly what I wanted, was to go into bubble. I don't even know what the bubble love phase was. Yes, you did. Everyone who's gone into the bubble love phase knew it was coming, and you know because you planned it. You planned it that way. And here, in three-dimensional reality, we have two entities, male and female, masculine and feminine. So in order to achieve it in duality, you have to have a duality experience. For 90% of the people. The odd one here and there can go through them by themselves, because they don't need the other person to actually do that. I'm one of those. When I initially went through the bubble love or mystical or elevated state of consciousness, as I mentioned before, I stayed in it for almost 2 years. And then I came down. And then the proverbial hit the fan like it did for everybody else. And I planned it that way. One of the things that people are forgetting is we tend to become so dependent on three-dimensional consciousness and weave our life and the substance of our existence on belief systems. We literally exist based on belief systems and emotional experiences that we take in. So in order for us to move on and move upward, we have to initiate an experience at a higher level, which is our greater self. And I ask you this question, and I'm going to propose it same as I did in the other video, but a little differently. Do you think, and every one of you has a higher self or oversoul or divine self or God within, whatever you want to call it, higher power. Do you really, really, really believe that all that higher power, inner self, soul self, super consciousness within you, that's all that it wanted you to experience in this lifetime? Was just to come in and get into a relationship, fall in love? Do you really believe that? Because if you really believe that, I got a 50-pound rock in my backyard, I'll sell it to you for cheap. Okay, because you got a real issue. If you believe that's all you're here for. Because think about it, some of you, actually a lot of you, still believe in reincarnation. So if you keep doing that lifetime after lifetime and lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, you got to get to some point where your soul says, enough of this shit. I'm getting bored. We need to liven the party up here and get everybody juiced up here so that we can do some growing and evolving here. This is getting ridiculous. I mean, this person has now become an old soul. They've been here so many times. So this is what's happening. So you become more curious and you begin to evolve and you begin to grow. So nobody is doing anything wrong. All you're doing is reacting to the present belief systems about relationships, love, and sexuality, as I've been saying for probably the last 5 years. And I really, really know that a lot of it just goes in one ear and comes out the other, and none of you grasp what I'm trying to say when I say it's going to change. There is nothing wrong with being in love and being in a relationship. But our concept of love that we have is three-dimensional. It's limited in its perspective to contain belief systems within the individual that they did not create themselves. Pay attention! I'll repeat that. The love that they experience is based on belief systems that they have contained within them, that have been put there and structured by other people, institution, religious indoctrination, peer, family, culture, and racial input. Not simple. So somewhere along the line, you need to be in a state of consciousness where you can think and feel freely, so you actually know what's available. And this is what happens with the bubble love phase. So none of you are doing anything wrong. You're doing everything exactly according to plan, as you planned it. And somebody's going to say, well, I don't really like my plan that I planned because it's putting me through hell. You did it. Fix it. We have to start understanding that we need to take responsibility for difficulty and challenges that are going on in our life. To step back and take a look at them and say, my twin flame has really ticked me off. Why is that bothering me so much? Is it him that's having the issue, or is it me that's having the issue? Or is there something here that needs to be addressed that I'm not seeing or feeling? So let me present this in another way. I want everybody to kind of imagine for a moment, you're going to go back and you're going to repeat the bubble love phase with the person that you connected with. Only this time, instead of remembering the beauty, the serenity, the peace, the talking, the connection, the bliss that you were feeling, I want you to go back into it again, and I want you to bring up all of the issues that the both of you had afterward. Go into the bubble love, go into that phase, remember it, experience it, see it, and then drag in all the shit that the both of you created afterwards into the bubble love phase and tell me what happens. You don't need to tell me. I know what happens. You can't do it. You can't take the shit into the bubble love phase. It won't go there. What you can do is you can take all of the memory of the pain, the agony, and the suffering, and you can dwell upon that, but you can't take it into the bubble love phase. It's impossible. Can't be done. Two different vibrations at two different levels. That's an example. So there you go. So you can't experience it. So you're given that mystical bubble love phase to show you potentially what lies within you and what can manifest later on down the road as a relationship, but coming from a point of freedom from locked in three-dimensional beliefs created systems to freely created belief system that you created from a higher state of consciousness via the expression of the heart center chakra, connected and evolving you to that higher state of consciousness where you can express true love. Now, in the mystical bubble love phase, you are expressing true love. What we experience in physical reality is not love. It is an emotional experience of love, which is a lower vibration of love. In the mystical bubble love phase, you're in the purest form of consciousness, manifesting thoughts, expressions, and connection in its purest form. At that point of consciousness, you are truly, truly able to express love unconditionally. Now, do you understand? Are you getting this? And a lady in the back just fell off a chair. Holy shit, Mel. I get it. Good. Now, will you remember it? The idea, relationships are going to change. I'm not against relationships, as I've said many times. I'm against relationships as they've been boxed and limited and programmed. What everyone is needing to do is to attain a state of consciousness, to express consciousness freely and truthfully from the highest state and point of consciousness of their capacity, manifesting at that point via the heart center what is called love. This boogaloo love boat shit that we're experiencing in physical reality and a lot of this twin flame stuff is not true love. A lot of the information being presented by so-called twin flames is not true love. What they're expressing is their version of what they perceive true love is. The only one who can actually express true love, and you can't teach it, all you can do is show a person how to get there, and then they can express it themselves. That's what I'm here for. To show you how to get there. No one can teach you in a workshop how to experience unconditional love. It's not possible. No one can teach you how to recreate the bubble love phase unless you've experienced it. Period. And then after listening to this video, go and take a look on YouTube right now and see the smorgasbord of rotten food and information. Slick marketing. I mean, I saw a set of twin flames up there this week. Boy, man, do they know how to market. I mean, they're selling coffee cups and t-shirts and God knows what all. Talk about hustle. Do you see me hustle? What you get is simplicity, the truth, and I'll be damned if I'm going to sell you a coffee cup or some dicky t-shirt. I'm dealing with adults, not children. At least I think I am. You all adults? I think so, otherwise you probably wouldn't be subscribed to me. So there you go. Does that help out now with the question that was asked? What are we doing wrong? Nobody's doing anything wrong. You're doing exactly what you were supposed to do and as you planned. No one at this point in this evolutionary process is doing this alone. Every one of you need to understand this. The moment you activated the heart center chakra, we this happened before the bubble love phase, during the bubble love phase, or after the bubble love phase. And there are variations to all of this. Immediately you were connected. As soon as that thing opened, you have immediate connection with that higher aspect of yourself. And the other thing that you need to know is this. If you think that every time a question comes up, that you think you need to know from your boxed-in limited 3D state of consciousness as awareness or knowledge, that your higher self, soul self, oversoul, God, divine self, whatever, higher power, whatever you want to call it, is going to access and give you information on it, forget it. It's not going to happen. Because your opinion of what you need to know and what's your opinion of what you need to know is two different things. And this you up here really doesn't give a rat's ass if you get upset, pissed off, stomp your little feet, have a temper tantrum, go into depression, sadness, and all of that shit. Because sooner or later, they're going to keep it up until you get it. So why make the journey difficult? Why not just listen to me, giving you information? I mean, I was just some old fart up here on YouTube. Nothing flashy about me, no bells and whistles. But I'm doing something a lot of other people up on YouTube are not doing. You know what that is? I'm telling you the truth. Have a great day.